guys, it's Debbie with Debbie J's Crafting Corner. I've got another Christmas video for you guys today, and I'm going to be playing with the Christmas in July collection from Scrappy Tales. I know it's mid-August, that's okay. I'm going to continue making Christmas and Halloween, all the things. Anyway, I really wanted to play with this part though, because I saw how she did it. I wanted to try it, and I don't at this point make a lot of interactive cards, so I wanted to give this one a shot and see how I like it. And to be honest, I have an idea for a Halloween one too, so you'll want to check back with me on that. So the dies that I'm using today are this one, which is the A7 Retro Christmas. This is a real cute, it reminds me of my grandmother, I'll be completely honest with you. Back in, I guess, the 70s, or possibly earlier, I don't know, she had done some of the porcelain trees that had little bulbs that would go in all around the outside, and it would light up, and it was just so pretty. But she made some of those. I guess she did a class or something, so that was super fun. And I've already done another video using the same die, so if you haven't already seen that video, be sure to check out that. I'll leave a card up here for you guys for easy access. But today I'm wanting to do this one as a pop-up. So I had not requested this before, so I went ahead and got it because I thought this has got to be super fun. This is the A7 pop-up stand metal die. And then we've also got this one, which is the ornament base. So this is all of the things are going to work together to make this super fun. Now, I do have to admit, it was a lot of die cutting because I had to do multiples of the trees, and I chose to do the large tree. You can see how big that guy is, and all of the ornaments and all of the things. And I've decorated pretty much everything up. I do have one over here, so I'm going to show you how I did all of that. But yeah, I got all the die cutting done, and it's not really that big a deal. I mean, I've been sitting here watching some YouTube and just putting things together, and it's kind of a soothing process. So if you're not in a big hurry and just want to chill while you're crafting, paper piecing is an absolute wonderful way to go. So what I don't have yet, or rather I do, but let's see, do I want to do it again? This piece here is what we're going to be using from the metal base, and it creates these pieces, and you're basically going to be folding it accordion style. Okay, so that's the way that they go. I've already done this because I wanted to see, okay, how does that work? And of course, midstream, I'm like, I need to just go ahead and make a card video and just finish it up instead of just playing around. So you do need two of those, and they do need to be all folded up. Then you're going to also need this big piece here, and that you're going to need to cut that one out twice. And then for the tree, I believe it was 8 of those. So I've already got more than that done, but let me show you how I did the decorating on that piece. So I've also got, I've got a lot of glitter all over everything. I'm using some glitter cardstock that I got from Hobby Lobby. Is just at least I think it was from Hobby Lobby. It says it's Horizon Group, and if I'm not mistaken, that is the Hobby Lobby brand. This is from 2019, so it's something that's been in my stash for a bit, and it was just like $3. So yeah, I either got that at Hobby Lobby, or it could have been from Target in their dollar spot. I'm not 100% sure, but it does have some pretty paper. But when you play with it, when you use as much of it and do as much die cutting as I have with it today, there's glitter everywhere. I've even got some on my hubby. So anyway, I cut out the top of the tree using some of the gold, and what's neat on this one is it's got all these little cut lines, and it's real easy to just pop off right at that cut line, so you're just left with the piece that you actually want for your tree. So I'm going to go ahead and add my tree topper then. Doing all of this with some liquid glue. This is my art glitter glue. And like I said, paper piecing is not all that difficult as long as you know where everything goes. And now I'm going to go ahead and add some of the bulbs. Now the die, let me show you that. This is the die to create all your bulbs. It creates the number that you need for the small tree. I'm doing the large tree, which means you need more. So you need 26 bulbs for your tree. I counted them. I'm assuming I counted them right. If I didn't, I will. If I count them wrong, because I'm going to redo it before I edit the video, I will include the correct number up on the screen. So that means you're going to need to basically cut them out twice, and then you'll be left over with a couple. When you're doing multiples, though, you use up pretty much all of them, and I should have just the right amount over here for this. So I'm going to just add my little bulbs down. Again, just with some liquid glue. And I don't typically use a lot of glitter on my cards, and this is something that I think I realize every Christmas, and then I stop doing it, and then it's like, oh my God, it really does make such a big difference. These trees are just so pretty. I'll have to show you the card that I made from the other video and let you compare it to this one with all of the glitter, and you guys determine what you like the best, and then you determine, is it worth having glitter all over everything to make these look just that pretty? I'm thinking yes, so I am going to be using glitter on more cards coming up over the next few months, and my husband's probably sitting over there saying, oh my God, no, not more glitter. Okay, so now that we've got all of the bulbs on there, I'm going to add some more glitter to the front of my card. I've got some garland cut out. And just so that I could keep them all straight, I left everything pretty much in the cardstock when I did the cutting of the glitter cardstock, just so that I would have everything ready to go. I told you, I've made a bunch of these little trees already. And there we go. So like I said, I did do quite a few. So I've got a bunch of them ready to go. Next thing though, I want to go ahead and create this little box here. Now I've used a couple of rubber bands inside, but I want to show you how this works. So when you have it laying down flat, it'll fit into a card. So it'll be flat in a card. I mean, in an envelope, and then it's going to pop up. It's going to pop up when they open the envelope and take it out. So what we're going to do, I'm going to go ahead and die cut that out, because this is part that I wasn't sure what was going on until I actually cut it out. So I'm going to cut out 2 of this piece here. I also cut out these little inlays from that same set. So I cut out the inlays out of that same red paper. I think that's going to make for a real pretty, kind of a tree skirt kind of look for the bottom of our tree. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere these down. I only did one of the square because I'm going to leave the other side open just in case I want to add a sentiment. Actually, I probably will add a sentiment. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and put this on so it'll be on there on the back. So this is going to be the back. And we're going to also put on the ones for the sides, and I'm just tacking everything down with some liquid glue. And I'm doing this before I assemble it because it's going to be easier to put down when everything's not folded up. Okay, so we've got one side done, and then I just add these last 2 panels onto the second side. Okay, so now I'm going to fold on all of the score lines. And we're going to adhere these guys together. We've got the front, then we've got the back here. And what we're going to adhere together are going to be these pieces. Now, I also used lightweight cardstock because heavyweight cardstock is going to basically make it a bit bulky and makes it a little harder to assemble everything. So I'm going to go ahead at this point and just glue these together. You do want to take into consideration that little slit with a hole, because you do want that to line up on both sides. Because that is going to be your mechanism so that you can turn this into a pop-up. Now, you don't have to make it pop up like that, but I think that's going to be super fun. And make sure everything lines up perfect. And I'm just double checking again with it folded flat. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so now we've got our little tree stand. Okay, next we're going to do a little bit of scoring on our trees. And that's so that we can adhere them to our, basically to our support. Stop recording. So next we're going to score lightly down each of our trees. Now, one reason why I think she says to do lightly is because all of these are cut lines and you can cause things to kind of separate. But you know what? It's going to be okay. I took a marker because I have no idea where. If I'm looking up here, where it is down here, I took a marker to mark where the same score mark is. So now I can actually go right down the middle of my tree and have it actually go in the right spot. And if you have them a little bit off, that is totally fine too. We only need to do it, kind of sort of in the middle there. So now I'm gently folding these. I'm not going to do a real score on it. I just need it to fold enough to be able to fit into this mechanism piece, okay? And the way that Sabrina described doing it, she used some double-sided adhesive for this to make it work better. So that's what I'm going to do. And, yeah. Okay, so I am going to actually fold this a little bit more. But I'm being careful. Like I said, we've got all of those little cuts, and I don't really want this to get kind of... Yeah, I don't want it to come apart. Anyhow, I'm going to add some score tape to each of these divots here, each of the valleys on one side. And that is going to be what's going to hold our trees in place. And you can use some liquid adhesive, but you know what? Doing it with liquid adhesive is going to mean it's going to take longer. Basically going to take longer, and we already spent a lot of time putting together all of the prettiness on that tree when we were decorating it, right? So I'm just going to put my tree right in that little space there. Okay, so I'm going to go right about there. So now it is adhered onto one side. And then we're going to do the same thing on the next one. So let's go ahead and remove that release paper. And I probably have extra trees, but that is totally fine too, because these things are so pretty. I could just use them as the front of a card after I'm done, or save it for the next one of these that I want to make. So I'm going to just adhere that right down, and I'm going to line up the tree topper, so hopefully everything's going to be right about where it needs to be, right about the right height. There we go. So now we've got two of our trees in. So both sides have got two trees on there. Okay, see? Got two trees and two trees. And now we're going to do the legs. I'm going to add this tree to that. Okay, so that one is lined up there. I'm going to do the same thing on this one, basically for this piece. So we're going to add another tree right here. Okay, so I'm going to line this up with the edge of my tree here. So just lining that up and then pressing it down into that double-sided tape. Okay. And of course I'm following Sabrina's instructions for all of this, and she basically said that the reason for this last tree here is just to make it fuller. So you could definitely do this with just the 4. So now I'm going to add this guy to that base that we made earlier. So to this guy, okay? And actually I think I need some, just double checking this. What we're going to do is we're going to basically add it in the center of this piece here. So we're going to want to add it right about there to have it standing in the center. Okay, we're going to do the same thing with the front and back, and then we're going to do the same thing with this one. So it's a lot of not flat pieces that we're going to be adhering together. It does make it a little more difficult to do, but it's going to be so pretty. Oh my goodness. Okay, so one reason why we put this last tree on here is that's the one that needs to be straight up and down in the center, right? And that is something I did not double check the first time around. So that is what I'm doing this time. So let's just make sure that it looks like it is straight up and down. Yeah, it looks like it's good. And I'm going to hold that for a second because I'm now putting on there with just the liquid glue. I didn't put on any more tape in case I made another mistake. Okay, and now I'm going to do the same thing with the back. I'm going to add some liquid glue there. And then I'm going to position that so that the tree is still straight up and down. So I want this piece to be perpendicular to our stand here, okay? Because that is the center of the tree we're going to be putting in the middle. There we go. And tuck that in and line it up. And this is what I was meaning by we needed that to be straight. This is the piece that needs to basically be straight, and we're going to be adhering another tree to that. Okay. And then I'm going to hold it from the inside and burnish some of that tape down because I want the adhesive to really stick to the card. Okay. Then we're going to remove all of that release paper. And I am also going to use some liquid glue to give me some wiggle room in case I need it to get this last tree in place. Okay. And then lining that one up. I'm actually going to line up with the edges of my other 2 trees and then fold it down flat. There we go. And then hold it for a second because the glue needs a chance to dry. So now I'm going to add a sentiment. I was going to stamp and die cut something out, but after seeing what Sabrina did using part of this die, this is also from the kit. I'll leave a link to that down in the, or information about it down in the description along with all the other products. I decided I'm going to do the same thing. Anyway, I try not to copy anybody, but it was just genius. She basically just used the Merry Christmas. I'm cutting mine out of that red glitter cardstock and placing it right here. So that is basically finishing up the card. However, you guys also know I was talking about making it pop up, and we haven't done that yet. Now, she does have some recommendations. I know a new video with a new pop-up that's coming out. She has figured out which rubber band she thinks works the best with it. So you can get those at Scrappy Tales. However, I am just using what I have in my stash, and these are some little rubber bands that are for like hair that I got at the Dollar Tree probably, I don't know, 3 years ago. And I have not used them. You can tell it's full. And what I am, part of that is because of someone, I think I saw a Jennifer McGuire video at some point. I'm taking 2 of the rubber bands and I'm actually just kind of looping them together See that? I've got one inside the other, and then I'm pulling the other piece out, if I can grab it, so that's tied together. So this is a little bit longer, and it seems to work okay in the prototype or sample that I did. Next, what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you on this because it'll be easier to see. We've got that little hole. That hole and that line that we created using this die, like I showed you before. I'm going to just slide my rubber band down through the slit and have it basically catch right at that point. Okay, so okay, I've got my fingers there, so it's going to be a little easier to do. And then I'm going to just slide it on there and have it catch right in the center. Oh, looks like it's already there. Awesome. See that? And I'm going to do the same thing with the other side. Now, I have no idea how strong these rubber bands are. Like I said, this is just something I grabbed at the Dollar Tree at least a year or so ago. So now we've got that. It's hooked together. See that? So now what we're going to be able to do, this is my first try with a completed card using this, I'm going to be able to lay it flat. So it'll be able to fit into, I think, a 5x7 envelope, if I'm not mistaken. It just fits into it's just right at 7 inches, okay? So I'm thinking it's probably not strong enough, but it still is super cute. I do love the way that this one turned out. Also, the rubber bands are old, so they don't have as much elastic as they used to, but look at that. Isn't that just adorable? And it stands up. So anyhow, that's going to finish up this card video. I've been wanting to make this probably since I first got the die sets in and hadn't made the time to do it because I've got so much stuff I want to get done. I still have lots of projects I want to work on, but I really wanted to work on this because I do have an idea to do the same kind of thing for Halloween. And for that one, if I want to make it pop up, I think I need to invest in some new rubber bands. Anyway, you guys have a wonderful day. Be sure to check out the playlist and all to see more projects where I'm using Scrappy Tales products. And I will talk to you soon. Bye, guys.